we're focusing on the VI editor because it's the oldest editor, and regardless of which Unix or Linux system, this is the editor that's in common. All systems come with the VI editor. So you can use the VI editor to create a normal text file, or ASCII text is the way we described it. You know, they could be just documents, programming files. You could create a C program, system configuration files, and so on. All right, so the command to enter VI is the VI command. VIM is supposedly the VI improved. I don't think it's that much of a difference. If we had the desktop version, there's several GUI editors. What does GUI stand for?
Graphical user interface.
Yes. And Xedit is one of the most common. It was the original X11 editor. And X11 was the protocol developed by MIT, and this was the graphical editor. So you would have full screen and use of your mouse. So there's two main modes with VI, and then the escape key takes you out of data entry mode. The hardest part about VI is when you go into VI, you enter VI in command mode. If you're creating a new file and you want to enter data, you can't just say VI and the file name and start entering data. You have to first type a command to put you into data entry mode. So the commands for data entry mode or insert mode it's one of these three vowels. A is for append, I is for insert, and O is for open. They are all slightly different versions, and then there's a capital O. So for example, the small o will open a new line. The capital O opens a new line above where you are as opposed to below. I will insert before the cursor, A inserts after the cursor. But when you're starting a new file, it doesn't matter which of these you choose. There's also an EX mode where you type the colon and it takes you to the bottom and you can issue various commands. You also need this colon to exit out of VI. So with the colon, you can also read in the contents of a second file with the R command. You can also execute a shell command without leaving the editor, like suppose you want to see if a certain file exists. The colon and the exclamation mark followed by the shell command, it could be the ls command, pwd, whatever. You need this exclamation to tell it that you're running a shell command. And then to quit is colon Q. To write in quit is colon WQ. And if you made changes and you want to discard those changes, then you would do colon Q exclamation. It's like quit, I really mean it. Otherwise, it's going to say you have unsaved changes. The escape key is what takes you out of the data entry mode. Okay, so here are some commands, all right? You have the undo is U, it's easy to remember. Open a new line is either lowercase o or uppercase. Think of it this way, the uppercase O opens a line up. Okay, so uppercase, it helps you remember. Lowercase o opens a line below where you are. You can search by putting a slash in a pattern that you're looking for. Change word, when you want to make changes and do some editing, CW means change word. If you want to delete a word, it's DW. Okay, so it's easy to remember what these mean, but they're just simple one-letter commands. If you want to move to the next word, the command is W. Takes you to the beginning of the next word. If you want to move to the end of the next word, or current word is E for end. You want to go back to the previous word, it's B. If you want to go to the beginning of the line or the end of line, the caret takes you to the beginning of the line and the dollar takes you to the end of the line. That should be familiar to you. Where did we use the caret and the dollar for special meaning to mean the beginning of something and the end of something?
Wasn't it with grep?
Yes, it was. It was with grep, and when we were searching for a pattern, if we were searching for the pattern root and we were looking for root at the beginning of the line, we put this caret in front of the root. Or if it was root at the end, we put the dollar sign. This like the beginning of the pattern or the end of the pattern. They were like anchors. And then there's also the ability to substitute a word for something to something else within the whole file globally. That's what that means. All right. So does everybody have their SSH open, their terminal? We're going to create this file. Now, you do not have to have an extension in Unix. You don't have to say pets.txt. You can just create the file pets. So what we're going to do, and you can use your own pets and names, we're going to create 2 columns. So let me bring up my terminal. Let me make it bigger. Okay. Let me see if we could see it side by side. Okay, so now we can see both at the same time. VI pets. So the command is VI, and the file name that I want to create is called pets. And I think I might have already created one. No, I didn't. Okay, notice when you enter, I'm now in command mode. I see these tildes. Those just means empty. There's no lines in it. And at the bottom, it says new file. So what do I have to do to get into data entry mode? What could I type to get into data entry mode? Which vowel?
A.
A. It really doesn't matter at this point because you don't have anything in here. So if I put the A, notice what happens at the bottom. Can everyone see this insert is at the bottom?
Yeah.
So now I'm in insert mode. I can type, copy what I have. The heading is animal. And then in between the 2 columns, I'm going to use a tab. And then name is the second column. And I'm just going to hit enter to go to the next. So it's my first animal, dog. And you can put your own names. Okay, when you get to the bottom and you're done entering, what key do we hit to get out of this mode? Who remembers?
Escape.
Escape, good. So hit the escape and notice the insert that was here is now gone. Now I'm in command mode. I can move my cursor. I can't use the mouse to just click. That won't work because I'm not in a graphical user interface. But I can use my cursor buttons to move up. I can move 1 letter at a time. Okay, so I can go up to the first line. I can issue commands. All right, to navigate to the beginning of this word, I hit B. If I hit B again, I go back. All right, next line. If I hit E, I go to the end of the first word. What if I want to go to the end of the line? Which meta character do we type?
$sign.
$, good. If I hit $, it takes me to the end of the line. If I hit the caret, I can go to the beginning of the line. So if, let's say we made an error, like here, I put Bug Bunny instead of Bugs Bunny. So now I'm on the G, I have to get back into insert mode. If I hit an A, it'll let me enter a character right after it. And again, I have to hit escape to get back out. Okay, so Mickey, I left out the E. If I hit I for insert, it'll let me enter the character in front of the letter, and I could hit escape. Let's say I want to change the name. So the gerbil, I want to change the name from Sunny to, give me another name. Does anyone have a gerbil that has a name? All right, I'll just change it to Donnie. I would use the change word command, CW, okay, and now it puts me in insert mode, and I could put Donnie and hit escape. If I hit V, I can go to the beginning of the line. What if I want to change the whole line? Well, I could hit $, and it lets me rewrite the whole line. And then escape. Oops, I deleted the line. I made a mistake. Can I undo? Yes, the little U brings it back. All right, so you can undo the last command. All right, so these are some of the commands. And you'll notice a pattern. For example, to change a word was CW, to delete a word is DW. So for example, if I want to shorten the rabbit's name, instead of Bugs Bunny, it's just Bugs. So DW deletes the word. Use W to navigate to the beginning of the word, and DW will delete the word. Okay, so let's say I don't have this pet anymore. I want to get rid of it. If you double the letter for a line, there's the DD command. I don't think I have it on here. If I hit DD, it deletes the line. Let me see if I could show you again. Now on Moodle, I have like a cheat sheet for VI, so you can look and see all the commands. Okay, see, I have a VI cheat sheet. I found this one online, but it's got some, I thought it was nicely organized. The change word CC will change the line. So basically, to delete a word, it's DW. If you take the D and you double that letter, it deletes the entire line. Well, the same thing with the change command. CW changes a word, and CC changes a whole line. You can also do $, and it'll take from where you're currently sitting, where your cursor is, and change from there to the end of the line. So these are the most common commands. These are the vowels that get you into data entry mode. Let's see what else. There's some scrolling commands, but we don't have really, we're not working on a really big text file. So for now, I don't think you need to worry about that. Okay, so here's some more commands. If you want to delete, let's say, the current line and 2 lines, below. So you want to delete 3 lines starting with your current line. You just put the number in front. So you would type 3DD. So getting back to our terminal. All right, so I'm going to delete the bird, turtle, and fish. So I just say 3DD, and those lines are gone. I can restore it with the undo, with the U. I'm going to put it back. I can also change the entire line with $C to change from where I am till the end. And I can, change it to whatever I want. Again, I can undo. All right, so let's say Donnie, I spelled that wrong. I'm going to hit the E to go to the end of the first word and the E to go to the second. So I want to get rid of the I can just hit the X, like I'm crossing it out. If Don is the name, I got to hit the X again. So you just go to the letter, move your cursor over that letter and hit X, and it crosses it out, deletes it that way. So X just deletes the character under the cursor. Okay. There's also this command called yank, and basically it's the same concept as copy and paste. You want to yank something into memory. So for example, I want to make a copy of one of the lines. All right, so let's say I want to have the turtle row. I can yank a copy by hitting YY. That's yanking a copy. Notice I didn't delete it. And then I hit the P as many times as I want. And the P is the paste. It's going to put that line. It stands for either put or paste. But basically, that's what we do. We can yank something into memory. Let's say I want the word fish to be repeated. I can say YW to yank the word. And then I can hit the P. Okay, and then it will paste whatever I copied. How are we doing? Now I have some guided activities online. So I'm not going to do too much here. Now we're done. Let's say we want to save this file. We hit the colon, okay? I hit the colon, see it takes me to the bottom. And then W and Q. The W will save the contents and Q will let me exit out. Right, what we're looking at now, this is a guided activity that you can do on your own. I think we have enough time. Let's create a shell script. Right now, we just created a data file. So now we're going to go and do VI, and the name of our script is going to be my script. So here's your commands. Let me bring it back. Okay. And so now Remember when you do VI my script, it's going to say new file. You have to hit one of the letters, one of the vowels to get into insert mode. And what you're going to do is copy these 3 lines. One is echo. And then the read command. This will wait until the user types in their name. And what it does is it creates a variable called name where it's going to store what the user types in. And then echo hello $name. When we expand a variable to see its contents, we want to display the contents of the name variable. We put the $sign in front of it. Just like we did with the path variable. And we'll add a line. Your path is $path. So that's a system variable. And then you hit escape to get out of insert mode. How are we doing? The colon to take you to the bottom and WQ. I don't remember what chapter we were working on. I think it was chapter 7 when we were doing file systems. And someone, I don't remember who in this class, asked me, you know how we were talking about the dot is the parent directory and the dot is the current directory. And you can specify / and the file name. And my response was that I used it a lot, the / but I didn't remember an example. Well, here's an example. When you want to run a script file, you should be able to just type the name of the file, my script, and it should be able to run it as a script. But what happens is because my script is in my current directory, it's searching in the path variable. The current directory is not in my path variable, so I can either modify and add my current directory to the path variable. I mean, typically the path variable is the system folders. Okay, or I can bypass the path variable by typing / my script. Now, instead of getting command not found, I'm getting permission denied. And that is because to run the script as a script or as a command, I have to change the permissions on the file. So ls-l my script. Oops, sorry, I spelled it wrong. Okay. It should be ls. ls-l my script. Okay. I don't know if you remember at the beginning, the dash means it's a regular file. RW means it's read and write for the user, read only for the group, and read only for other. But we need to have execute permissions to run it as a command. If we don't, we could run it by passing it to the shell command. So I could pass it to the shell command, and this is all in the presentation, so in case you're having trouble following. Bash my script. And now my script is running. So if you all type bash and the name of your file, my script, it should issue the echo command, and I'm going to put my name. And then it should say hello and your name, and your path is in the contents of the path variable. How many of you were able to get the script working?
I was able to.
One thumbs up.
It
Oh,
worked
2.
for me.
Yeah, it worked for me too.
Okay, okay, good. All right, so right now, if I just type my script, /my script, it bypasses the path, but I get permission denied. Now, we didn't do the change mode command, but we need to add execute, and change mode is chmod plus X means add execute permissions, and the file name is my script. And now I can do the ls-l, my script. And notice instead of just RW, it's now RWX. And then for the group members, it's read and execute, and read and execute for other. So now I don't have to pass it to the shell. I can just type the command my script. Still getting command not found because it's not in the path. It's looking in the folders that are specified by the path. So this is where I bypass the path, /my script. And now it works. I enter my name and I get my response. All right. So for chapter 10, we are only focused on the VI editor, and for chapter 11, we're only focused on the beginning concepts of creating scripts and using variables and prompting. We're not going to get involved in complicated logic, conditionals, if statements, case statements. But if you are interested in that, the INF-254 class, I believe that's 253 or 254, goes into it in more detail. So let's get back. All right, and we created a text file. What if I wanted to only display one column from that text file? What command will allow us to extract just a single column? Do we remember?
Cut.
The cut command, right. So I can say cut, let's say I want column 2, I would say -F2 and pets. And I get the second column, okay, all the names. The cut and the grep command, it kind of gives us the ability to do database-like functions on text files. So let's say I just want the turtle. I just want one row, one record. What command would let me just extract the one record? It begins with a G. Okay, it's grep.
Grep.
Right? Grep, turtle, pets. I guess there's no turtle. Oh. Grep. Let's see. Well, maybe I spelt it with a capital. Let's do grep -I, turtle. And pets. Okay, so I had a capital T. So remember the -I option will ignore case. So if it's lowercase or uppercase. Okay. So grep allows you to extract just certain rows that match whatever you're searching for. Okay. This example, in addition to doing the echo, well, they add a -N in front of the echo. So let's go back into my script just to see one thing at a time. So VI, my script. And all I want to do is add the dash n. So E takes me to the end of echo. A allows me to insert right after it. And I add space, dash, and space. And what this will do is allow me the prompt to be at the end. It eliminates the extra line. And then I hit escape, :W, :Q. /my script. Now notice where my cursor is. What is your name? My cursor is right next to the question instead of being on the line below. So it's just a nicer way. Now, in addition to creating a variable with the read statement, I'm taking in what the person is entering. So whatever you type, if you type Joe, then the name variable that I create with this read statement, that will have, it will store Joe. A variable is just a method of storing one piece of information at a time, just like a field in the database. Okay, and then I can show the contents of that field by putting the $sign in front of it. All right, so that's what we did. Okay, so this just goes through what we did to add the execute permissions. Let me show you the other one. Okay, and I'm going to post both of these. I took the textbook version with PowerPoints, but we're only doing the first part of the section. So we're focused for chapter 11 on using a shell script to include commands, to use arguments and variables. Here's another example, and pretty much this is what we just did. The first line technically should have this, it's like a comment field, but it identifies itself that this is a special file, that it's a bash shell script. Okay, and this shows the steps that we took. Okay, here's another example where you can pass data in as arguments to a command. So for example, they end up being numbered. So if you type my shell or my script and you put a whole bunch of names after it, they're numbered. This $1 becomes the contents of the first item passed. So in this case, let me see if I can show you what I mean. All right, so VI my script, and you could just watch to see what I do. What is your name? Instead of having an echo, and I think pound will make it a comment. Oops, forgot to hit VI. Just comment this out. By the way, if I want to repeat a command, the dot repeats the command. Like here, I went into insert mode, I added this, I hit escape, then I went to the next line and I just hit the dot to repeat the same command. Just It's just a great editor. Echo hello, and instead of name, I'm gonna put, move down, and I keep forgetting I can't use my mouse. Okay, so I'm gonna change this word to $1, $2, and hit escape. $. Okay, so I hit escape. And I believe that should come out. Okay. So /my script dev Joe bugs. Notice it took the first two because in the code I said echo $1, $2. I didn't say echo $1, $2, $3. So this was ignored. So cat my script. All right. So the only command that was executed was this one.